Stuart, I have a question. Um, I've been in a deep meditative state where I feel the oneness, the no separation, no duality, this beautiful space of where I feel like I've disappeared and everything is one. And then it feels like there's a tissue thin membrane, like almost, that's keeping, I don't know, keeping me from going further. Do you know what that is, Stuart?
Basically, it's just your own resistance to go further. I mean, look, the problem, there's no problem. What you described is wonderful, and it's really what our work is about, getting to that kind of place inside yourself. But we have a tendency to conceptualize everything. So we have this membrane surrounding, this kind of rebirth that is taking place inside us. And we conceptualize it, whether that membrane is real or it's not, it doesn't matter. But all that matters is that you just take the whole experience deeper. And, if it's just a membrane, it's going to take just a bit of Shakti to pierce it, to get you to the other side of it. So I wouldn't worry about that. What you described is very beautiful and truly is at the essence of what this meditation is all about. It's about a oneness with God. I was talking this afternoon in the class that I had here, and I was saying, look, it's very relevant to what you just said. Look, higher energy is just energy. It doesn't have a manifestation on a higher plane. It's just a pure flow of Shakti that comes out of the center of the universe that gives life to everything in the universe. And, no matter what and each person is different. And each person uses that energy according to the uniqueness of who and what they are. So sitting there looking out over the city here where I'm living, and you see buildings and apartment buildings, it's all a manifestation of that energy. It's a manifestation of that energy going into the mind and creating all of these opportunities that people get to make money, to live, and what we're trying to do is to attain some kind of inner state of nothingness. So that energy flows through us. And there'll always be a part of us that needs to earn a living, to pay rent, to do, it'll manifest that way. It'll also manifest as love, as happiness, as joy, as compassion, as kindness. It'll manifest exactly as a human being is inside themselves. And if a person is neurotic and crazy and uptight and righteous, that's how the energy is going to manifest in their life. So the purpose of this meditation is to get to a state of being that you described, Paula, so that when the energy manifests and flows through us, it creates a miracle of God. It creates something that's sweet and delicious and wonderful. And there's always, as I say, always a part of us that needs to deal with Caesar, So it'll also manifest that, earning a living, paying the rent, going to the grocery store, taking care of life. But the less tense we are, the less conflicted we are, the less chaos there is inside ourselves, the purer that energy is going to manifest as it flows through us. And that really is the reason for meditation, is to eliminate the chaos, eliminate the confusion, eliminate all of that anxiety and tension and worry and fear that exists inside, so that energy can flow through and create an extraordinary life for one. And I think that it's really, this is something really important. So it's not a matter of blaming the world for all the problems. It's a matter of fixing ourselves. Because if people would just take the time to fix themselves, a lot of these problems in the world are going to just vanish. Because all of them just reflects what goes on inside a human being and how the energy manifests in their life. I mean, you have to realize everything we see and do and hear, it's all the manifestation of higher energy. So it manifests as the music of Mozart and Bach and, or other kinds of music that we like to listen. It also manifests as rap music and, hip hop and other stuff, because that's what's inside that person. And that's what they give off. And that's how the energy manifests in the world. So we as people and doing meditation have to overcome the internal chaos and try to reach a place inside ourselves that is, there's a bit of truth, there's a beauty, there's love, there's, self-worth. There's every reason to be alive. And if we don't reach that, we don't complain about what your life is, because that is what is coming through you. It's totally amazing how dependent this is upon how deeply a person works on themselves and how much change takes place inside them. So it's a kind of a marriage between ourselves and higher energy. And in that marriage, we are responsible for cleaning up our act. If we don't clean up our act, what we're going to have is what we have. We're going to have the craziness, the insanity, the tension, the anxiety, the neurosis that goes on in life.
Thank you so much, Stuart.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question?
I have a question, Stuart.
Yes.
Hi, it's about health issues that are kind of chronic, and you can feel happy still, even though you have health problems.
Yes. And who doesn't have health problems? Raise your hand here. Well,
so do you have anything to say about that, about finding peace no matter what is manifesting?
Yes, I mean, that's, look, health problems exist. And, there's always going to be a pain, something wrong, stub our toe, we have a headache, we have this, and the whole purpose of this meditation is to get a chakra system that's strong enough to begin to detach from all that stuff and to not spend all our time, focused on it and meditating and not feed it, so that we build inside our system that's strong enough to truly detach ourselves from pain and from those kinds of difficulties in life. But everybody has something, everybody. And I have physical problems. I had a major operation about 2 years ago, and I still have pain from that operation. It doesn't stop me from doing what I do in life. It certainly doesn't stop me from doing these classes and doing what my service is to God and higher energy in the universe.
I noticed that the people who do this meditation seem to live, even though they have some health problems, they live much longer and happier lives.
Good. Good. Look, I never met anyone who did it better than Rudy, and he lived to 45, you know? He was smart. He got out of here, you know, before all of this. So, you know, I don't, you know, look, I don't know. Everybody lives according to what, you know, they're supposed to live. You know, and so, yeah, people, you can overcome, in doing this medication, you can overcome a lot of physical problems. You really can. I've seen people overcome cancer and AIDS and all kinds of stuff I've had to deal with people in my life, you know, and it's you're tapping the source of all creative energy in the universe. It's a healing energy, and it'll help you to deal with all these kinds of problems inside. It'll also attract the right acupuncturist, the right masseuse. It attracts the right colonics person, the right this, the right that, the chiropractor. It attracts. I remember once when I was living in Texas, I had a chronic pain in my knee. And I went to chiro, I went this one, that, nobody had an answer. And one day I was in one of my students' apartment, and he had a copy of Prevention magazine. I'm not sure that magazine even exists today. And I opened it up to a page where the guy had the exact same problem as I did. And he had a complete prescription on how to heal the problem. And I went and got all the supplements and started taking them. And within 2 weeks, the problem was gone. God sent me an answer. I mean, they wanted to operate, they wanted to do this, doctors and chiropractors, you know. He said, no, there's an answer to this. You know, and I found it. I opened a book and just bingo. I read this article and there was the answer. God sent the answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Please try and, Logan, try and sit still. If you're moving, it really disrupts the class. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I have a question. It's not so much meditation oriented, but what was the supplements you took for your knees? My knees have been having some issues.
Oh, you know, this is 40 years ago. I know a lot of it had to do with vitamin C.
Okay.
But I don't remember the rest of the supplements. It's a long, long time ago. But a lot of it had to do with taking, and what it had to do, you see, there was calcium deposits and they just kept getting bigger. And you needed some supplements to get them to move into the blood system or whatever it was, and to get them out of the knee. And these supplements did it. And, you know, I mean, I wish I could remember all of this. I don't remember them. I remember that vitamin C was an important part of it.
Okay, thank you. I think that's enough for I'll get Googling on it and I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Wendy, you don't have a question?
If anything comes to mind, it's just about the higher mind. That's what came up, you know, asking you to talk about the higher mind, if that means anything to you.
Well, you know, look, there's the mind, the thinking, the ego, that part of and then there's an energy of a higher nature, which I guess some people call the higher mind. And that's energy that emanates from, you know, the source of energy in the universe. And when you are open inside and you really can receive that energy, it brings knowledge, it brings wisdom, it brings love, it brings, you know, in a word, a spiritual life, that energy. But we have to do our part. I keep telling everybody this. We are responsible to do our part, which is to build a chakra system that allows that to happen. Brings all creativity, the arts, music, you know, you discover you have talents you never dreamed you even had when that energy starts flowing through you. I mean it. I discovered things about myself I never dreamed I would ever, you know, and I was grateful. It opened up whole new areas of life for me. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Thank you all. You know, God bless you all. And I tell you, this situation is growing, and I have to get stronger, because if this continues, I don't know what's going to happen here, you know? So I'm grateful, and I'm grateful to all of you for being here to help me build my inner life so I can at least try and support what is going on. Does anyone have a question? Anyone else have a question?
Stuart, it's Chris. Thank you for taking us with you. I feel the gift that you have given us, I've known you for quite a while, is that you share everything that you've learned, and you're taking us along with you. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, look, it's fun. Okay.
It's great.
Who wants to do this alone? You know, I want to sit in a cave somewhere and, you know,
yeah,
meditate. You know, it's great to have people in your life you can share what comes through you with other human beings. You can see them light up and help them to grow. I mean, what can be better? What can be better than that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I need that in my life. I remember I had not a student, but when I ran a gallery in New York, there was this, I've spoken about this before, but it's kind of a very interesting story. There was this young Tibetan nun who used to come in my gallery all the time. And she and I became good friends. And her dream in life was to get a cave somewhere in the Himalaya mountains where she could meditate and just be her and God meditating. And she used to come in my gallery all the time, and she used to talk about this. And one day she walked in, she said, "Stuart, I found a cave." I said, "You must have a pretty good real estate agent in India, you know, find you a cave." So anyway, she left, went away, and I went to that cave. It was me. About a year and a half later, this young woman walks in my store. You know, her name was Annie. And Annie, when she originally came in my store, she had all her hair shaved off. She used to wear robes. She went, you know, a whole Tibetan panoply, you know. And a year and a half later, this young woman walks in my store with long blonde hair, wearing jeans and a T-shirt. And I looked at her and I said, you know, she said, "Stuart, don't you recognize me?" I said, it's Annie. I said, "Annie?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Annie, I'd never believe I'd ever see this here." Anyway, she told me the story when she went to meditate in this cave. There was a village right at the base of this hill where she was. And about 100 meters away from her, maybe less, 50 meters, there was another cave with a sadhu in the cave. And the villagers used to take care of the sadhu. They took care of him. They brought him food. He was a holy person, and they would take care of him. When she moved into her cave, they started taking care of her too. So they were taking care of both of them. There were two holy people. This to them was a great blessing, having two holy people meditating right above their village. The sadhu got jealous, and he started creating a nightmare for this young girl. I mean, he put rats in her cave. All kinds of stuff. He was just making her life insane. And one of the people from the village came to her and said, "You better leave, because if you don't leave, this sadhu is going to kill you. He is just crazy and jealous of you being here." So she had to leave, you know, and she came back and gave up her robes and gave up her shaved head and was going to university, had a boyfriend, and, you know, went back into life. So what I'm saying is, you go to meditate in a cave and you never know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
You can't escape your karma and you can't escape life. That's why it's better to have all of you on this raft that I'm navigating. And we can do it together and we can all hopefully find a path through this meditation to God. And I'm grateful to do that, I'm really grateful to do that. It's wonderful to have people involved and to come here and do these classes. I must admit, I get tired, but then there's a part of me that's a human being, but so what? As Rudy once told me, you get tired on your own time. You don't get tired on God's time. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, so there will be a meditation on Wednesday evening, and I'm hoping to see you all, and God bless you all, and thank you for being here. And you're wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you very much.
Good night.